Well, thank you for joining Wolf Game Theory today, as always, and just know nothing in the show is to be construed or interpreted as financial advice. Also, any guest of the show is not reflective of the opinions and or point of view of Wolf Game Theory and should be considered opinion. Thank you.
Hey, everybody out there on the farm. Hope you're doing well today. I'm here with,
Layer cake.
and we're going to just do a quick video and an introduction about the rundown of the actual game and just what we know and the facts so far about items. So, this isn't going to talk about the old games, the white papers that were to do with the initial launch and stuff. We're just going to go straight in and what we know at the moment in terms of the full game. I'm going to start off and I'm going to just talk a little bit about sheep. And I'm going to let Layer Cake talk about wolves, and then we'll go from there. So basically, within Wolf Game, the sheep so far have been the production people. So they produce, and the wolves have taxed. But as the description says, the product precious wool breed your flock. So we know that there's breeding coming as well. So you'll be able to breed your sheep and produce more sheep because based on the original game mechanics, there was meant to be more sheep. And wool is the governing token of the game. So we will always want to have wool to spend to build things in the game, but also to govern the way that the game goes. And I think I'll let Layer Cake take over for wolves.
So, talking about wolves, we talk about probably the prime asset of the game, which is probably pretty easy to say, being as how it is called Wolf Game. The wolf is pretty much a win-win asset when it comes to the game. Does not seem like they have any downside. The original mechanism for the wolf was to tax and steal. Kind of really initial innovation in the NFT space was one NFT stealing another NFT, and that was pretty brilliant. One of the first of many innovations to come out of this game. Wolves are category in generations and alpha score. We have generation 0 and generation 1. And then we have alpha score 5 through 8. 5 being the least powerful or lowest on the chain of command, and 8 being the top tier alpha, the one to rule them all. There are currently 14 Alpha 8 Wolves, which are running the Alpha game, which is the current iteration of the Wolf game. All speculation aside, we do believe that there will be breeding in the full game when it is launched in 2022. So wolves will be breeding other wolves. That being said, wolves run the game, and I don't see that changing in the next iteration. But there definitely will be some formidable adversaries with the advent of other assets and other sort of scenarios that will be introduced. So, with that, we will talk a little bit about.
Just to touch on the wool, the utility and governance token of Wolf Game. Wool is the ecosystem's precious resource. Use it to map the future of the game, breed your animals, and cultivate other resources. So, if you are planning to breed either the wolves or the sheep, you are going to need wool and also other resources that may appear on the land. I will take this opportunity to touch off the wool pouches. The wool pouches were something that was won during the risky game or rewarded to members of the community or won an alpha game. They lock up wool for a period of 4 years and release it each block. So this can be calculated on Wolfgame Live on the pouches tab. You can type in a pouch number and get what that pouch will be on a daily basis, what it will drip on a weekly basis, a year and a yearly basis, as well as the complete trip and what that is worth in ETH based off the current prices or off other prices that you can set in yourself using the handy tool. I will let Layer Cake talk about land before we go on and finish on farmers.
Land is probably the one asset that I'm really most excited about going into the full game. The Shepherd has released some details on land. It will be sort of the staking mechanism of the game. Land, there was only about, or there only is 20,000 Genesis land parcels available. They vary in terrain, capabilities, access to different natural resources. And we also know that they will work intrinsically with farmers throughout the game. It's sort of foggy on whether or not one needs land to compete in the game. As the game has unfolded thus far, it has been playable in a multitude of different ways from a multitude of different assets. So I would say that land is something that is not a primary sort of necessity to play the game. But from my perspective, it's probably going to be the most fruitful way to play the game. Crossing over into farmers, as Neil is going to take the next subject of farmers, land will work in tandem with a farmer to produce whatever the value will be for the next game. So with that, we'll have Neil take on farmers.
Yeah. So farmers, command, nurture, boost. With the power of a farmer in hand, multiply the capabilities of your land in your quest for economic dominance. So what we know about farmers is that they will have the function of multiplying land resources. They could have capabilities outside of that, but that will be their major attribute. Also, the farmers were initially meant to be one for one land, but the mint was decided to be cut short by the farmer, which leaves them under 12,000 farmers. We've also been told that they will appear as a PFP, which I think is really cool and I'm super excited for. And I know that there's such a community has grown around the love for farmers, like myself and Farmer Ron.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, there's definitely some people in the community that have taken on that farmer surname.
yeah, it's fun. I like it. But I think that we've done a good rundown of the game. I would urge people to check out our other videos because there's a lot more in-depth information, but we just wanted to give a quick overview for this one. So this is going to be a video on behalf of G-Money by ourselves for the event, Wool Event 2. So good night and good luck.
Peace.